And we are live. Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake. Hope you create something awesome today. Welcome to another Friday channel review session. So tonight we're going to review up to 10 YouTube channel reviews submitted by Super Chat. The way we do these on Fridays for our follower Fridays is that when you guys submit these $20 Super Chats, we review your channel live right here. And we do three things. We go ahead and we give you some constructive, positive feedback on something you're doing right so that you know what you're doing well, something that you could improve at specifically, something you might be doing wrong, and then also an actionable piece of advice that will help you right now as quickly as possible that you need to change immediately. So we do that every Friday for the most part, unless I'm traveling or it's a holiday. We do that on Fridays in the evenings. Usually it's closer to around 7:30 or 8 p.m. We're doing a super late night stream. We're doing the midnight run here. Shout out to our mod team holding it down. We've got our amazing mods in the chat to help take care of you. They're going to help keep track of our channel review sheet as well as our questions that come in, because we will also take any super chat questions that you all have. And while we're waiting on the first request for channel reviews, and if none come in, then that's fine. And what we'll do is, if we don't have any channel reviews come in, which I doubt will happen, we'll just end up doing a YouTube analytics stream, and I will show you the behind the scenes of my own YouTube analytics and dashboard if we don't end up having any super chat reviews come in due to it being super late at night, last minute type thing. But I know we usually have some night owls in the audience. So typically we will have those come through. We also can take some time to look over some of the channels that have come through in the past, see what they're up to, see if anybody's growing, see if there's any lessons to be learned. So there is that as well. And also, we can take any of your questions from the chat. Now, let me go ahead and actually do a quick update for you guys on some other things that are going on in the community, but also I'm happy to share any analytics stuff with you that I can. Until we get some channel reviews in, I might as well go over some YouTube analytics stuff with you and teach you a little bit more about how to read your YouTube analytics, because that's always super helpful for a lot of people. And we have quite a few of you. We got some of you watching on YouTube. We got some of you over on X. We've got some people over on Kick. And we've got some people over on LinkedIn. Always a pleasure. So let's go ahead and let's pop into some YouTube analytics stuff in the meantime. Until we have those super chats come in, we can always go ahead and move to some YouTube analytics. So for YouTube analytics, what I like to do and what I find to be the most helpful, and it looks like we got our first super chatter. Um, and so yeah, we got Downsizing Diva. We'll make sure we get her taken care of here. Um, what I like to do with analytics is I like to look at the 90-day overview, and I'm going to show you guys something interesting about that. So a lot of you look at your most recent uploads and you judge your channel off of your most recent uploads. What I like to do is I like to actually look at this unique viewer number, because it's the number of people you actually reached, the number of human beings that interacted with your content. And then I also like to look at this returning viewer number, because it tells you who your loyal audience is. And then I like to look at this content section here and understand which channel formats are contributing to my reach for new viewers, my reach for returning viewers, and what is driving my subscriber growth, as well as my views. And also look at that and then compare my publishing frequency, and then also look at the overlap between formats. So again, I just find that to be particularly helpful. And I think that this is something better to help you guys read analytics. You could also look at this funnel here, and it shows you how the YouTube algorithm is responding to and treating your content. So the more you see this purple bar, that's healthy. You also want to understand your different traffic sources. Mine are actually fairly balanced, which actually is good for most of you. You'll probably see most of your traffic come from browse features. Mine is actually pretty balanced here. If you do YouTube Shorts, this might look a little different for you. So again, I find this data to be some of the most helpful data when it comes to understanding your YouTube analytics. So just wanted to put that out there. We actually have our first super chat. So we got Downsizing Diva. We're going to pull up her channel for a review. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put that up on the screen here. And then you guys will be able to see that. So just give me a moment. All right. And let me have a little bit of this. All right. So let's move into our first review. So here we have Downsizing Diva, almost to 1,000 subscribers. So you should be monetized soon here if you haven't already reached the first level monetization. So what you're talking about here is your weight loss journey, and you go live on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. We actually do workshop Wednesdays here as well. So you got a Wednesday live stream going. Very nice. So something that you could improve, I do like that you have in the banner your schedule. So I think that's actually really good. I do feel that for the images and conveying the weight loss journey stuff, that there's more you can do in the banner here. But if you're not a graphic designer slash photographer, don't overthink it here. I don't even know that actually you need images of you and the weight loss journey before and after in the banner. But if you are, I would literally probably do a before and after here over on the right hand side. And then I would just do something else here on the left. But other than that, I could even say you could do without them, and then you could just keep this banner very clean and minimalist. Good photo of you here in terms of profile pic. Would like it to be a little sharper, especially around the eyes. And I think you could use Canva, knock yourself out of the background here, and then maybe make this red background or even a pink background or something just to make it pop a little bit. So you give the value proposition here. You've lost 63 pounds taking GLP-1 medications like Mounjaro and Ozempic. So you're giving out helpful information here around people who want to use that. You have your members already. So that means you've already at least done the initial level of monetization. You're very close to getting ad monetization, just 10 more subscribers for that. So very well done. You're listing out different playlists here. You have videos and then created playlist. I would put some of these created playlists as individual playlists here on the channel. And then I would move the shorts down probably to the bottom. So that's something I would probably do as far as the layout here. Now, in terms of your videos, I actually think the views on these are doing pretty okay, but let's see what your most popular content was. Let's see. Some of that most popular content was this YouTube changed your life because I would never have guessed you're 52 because you're an older content creator. Well done. The rest of this is all weight loss journey stuff. So in general, when you're doing a transformation or whether it's weight loss journey or something else, I think before and after is a big thumbnail theme that you could use that actually would be really smart. Um, and I think that before and after is very much a big deal to people. Now, these are also very simple thumbnails. You don't have to make them overly complicated. Canva style thumbnails are fine if that's what you want to do. But again, more things that are in the before and after vein. And we can find using our sponsor here, 1 of 10. I'm just going to go with weight loss. We could find examples of strong thumbnails that get views when it comes to weight loss. Here's examples again of before and after style. Doesn't have to be cartoon style like this for you to do it, but in general, this just kind of shows you the before and after type thumbnails that do well typically. Let's see if there is before and after. So again, more before and after style thumbnails. A lot of these tend to do well. Things where you could actually put big numbers in there in terms of weight loss. You lost over 60 pounds. I would take advantage of using that number in your thumbnails. Because if the entire point is transformation, then I would show that with regard to transformation. Now, somebody I worked with regard to if you want to do anything weight loss related, we specifically focused on fat loss, but I worked with Dr. Mike Diamonds. He's more of the fitness niche, but he targets specifically fat loss, backed by science. I remember Mike came to us with about 600,000 subscribers. We helped grow the channel to over 1 million when we worked together. So again, look at what I said about transformations in the thumbnails. So I would say, even though you're not a fitness channel per se, and you're more of a weight loss journey, there's a lot you can learn from the thumbnail style of Dr. Mike Diamonds here, and these do really well, and these are evergreen. Even the videos of his that don't pop right away, they tend to go big later once they hit about like 6 months. But again, you want to take advantage of things like this, like the stuff here in this fastest way to fix video and these transformation videos. Again, there are some that pop more than others. This do one instead is actually really good. So you could take advantage of this concept of transformations and using the arrows. And then also, if you're going to use text and you're going to use big numbers or a percentage of fat, you could use something like this ugly truth video here, so on and so forth. So you can see that a lot of these look really well. And you could incorporate doing similar things. Again, you don't have to go the full fitness angle, but you've already used elements like this yourself. So would highly recommend that for you. And I think that that could dramatically improve the overall channel. So those are my thoughts with regard to downsizing Diva and things she could do that I think would improve the content. I think for the most part, her titles and topic selection is fine. The weakest area is most likely the thumbnails. And I showed you an example of a channel that targets fat loss, specifically not weight loss as a whole, but targeting body fat. And the concept of transformation videos. Like I said, I worked with Dr. Mike Diamonds back in the day on quite a bit of this stuff. Did really well for the channel overall. Demonstrating the transformation in the thumbnails is a huge thing, especially when it comes to anything regarding weight loss journeys, debt journeys, any type of video that's about a transformation that the audience wants to have for themselves that you represent. That should be on display visually in the thumbnails. But what did you all think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think the advice is good? Would you do something different? Let me know in the chat if you're watching us live. Let me know in the comment section if you're watching the replay. So yeah, chat, what did you all think of that one? Downsizing Zima says, I have over 7,000 watch hours. Yeah, if you just get a couple more subscribers, you're going to be fully monetized for sure. Do you have any suggestions for what to do with a gaming channel? We've reviewed several gaming channels in the previous Friday live streams. I would recommend you watch those. Most of it, I would honestly say variety gaming for Twitch, but picking a theme or a type or a genre of games for YouTube. You either stick with one game for YouTube or heavily stick with a genre of games that's very similar for YouTube. Um, Most of what works in gaming YouTube is not going to be these meme-tastic gaming compilations or whatever. That's very difficult for people to grow. I would say that most gamers are doing this for a hobby. So the truth is, a lot of my advice is going to suck the fun out of it. If you want to have fun doing a gaming channel, don't listen to me. Just make whatever the hell you want, because my version of winning on YouTube, especially if you're a gamer, probably is not going to be fun. It will probably work, but it's not going to be fun. And by work, I do not mean go viral. I do the slow and steady wins the race kind of stuff. Like for a lot of gamers, you guys will prioritize that you also want to enjoy the content that you're making. I'm a bit older than some of you guys. I'm 40, turning 41 this year. So like again, what's fun for me is making money is fun, accomplishing my goals are fun, getting those things. So for me, also the process of making something is fun. So the thing is for me, it's not that I have to make what I want per se. Um, and that wouldn't be how I'd optimize. So that might be in contrast to what a gamer is looking for if it's a fun hobby and an outlet. If I was trying to do it professionally and win with a gaming channel, what I would look at is I would try to identify a gap in the market when it comes to the genre of gaming that I'm doing, something that other people are not doing. I would look at what my skill set is. Am I in some way, shape, or form a better, more charismatic entertainer? Do I have the ability to be top ranked in the game? A lot of the gamers I work with, they're actually pro gamers. So they might be with an esports org for something like Clash Royale, for example. Clash Royale players, Brawl Stars players, Squad Busters players. I deal with esports people that a lot of them are in mobile gaming, for example. I've even dealt with a couple of people in the FPS side, things like PUBG, so on and so forth. So because they can be ranked players and they can do things like ladder pushes, they have, even if they're not known in the content world, they have a claim to fame and a status, and people will come to them for quality gameplay, high level competitive gameplay. So they have an edge. They have something where they can actually say they are one of the best at what they do. So that is a powerful thing that can attract people, and that's an advantage in gaming. If you're not competitive, ranked, or a very high level player, you need some other angle. What a lot of other people will do is they will do things like lore. So there are people who make lore videos. If there's a franchise that has powerful lore and storytelling elements behind it, it's a beloved franchise. That can be good. It can be slow, but it's evergreen content that always gets views. So those are things for gaming channels. Let's see. We have NaturNal Nate Lyles. In addition to your review, I need assist with some doable ideas for keeping posts consistent and the community honest engaged during the downtime in between making movies. Okay, so we're going to see what your channel is all about. And then we're going to see if there's anything we can help you with when it comes to that. I think it's interesting that you're saying making movies versus saying making YouTube videos. That's an interesting distinction. When we look at your channel, maybe there'll be something there that helps us understand that distinction. So we will see. So we got NaturNal. We've got Mr. Nate Lyles here. We have 13,000 subscribers, 448 videos. Very good. Inviting geek culture into your atmosphere through visual arts and filmmaking podcast. Okay. So now I see why you say movies. And so let's see here. Are these fan films? Interesting. And then there's a breakdown and behind the scenes of certain things. Very interesting. And then you have a podcast that you do as well. This reminds me a little bit of Blurred Without Fear. I don't know if you're familiar with their program. Let's see. Immediately right off the bat, I'll tell you something, Nate, is that visuals and presentation matter. I kind of like your logo, but the other visuals here are not giving us the cinematic vibe. They're not giving us the cinematic vibe. In terms of quality thumbnails, when it comes to the geek culture space, you know who you need to really look at? You need to look at my friend Paul. You might be familiar with his content. Heavy Spoilers, I think, is a premium YouTube channel in the geek culture space. And I think as simplistic as these thumbnails may seem, you can tell the difference between those visuals and those thumbnails and the overall quality of them and their aesthetic appeal. And then You can see the difference between that and yours, and you can see the difference in aesthetic appeal. I think you need to bring big creator energy, my friend. There is no reason that just because you're a small channel that you can't have big creator energy and that you can't be on the same level of thumbnail as a channel with 1 million subscribers. There's no reason. It just takes a little bit more effort and craft and polish, but you could learn to literally recreate this thumbnail style in a weekend if you really, really, really wanted to. So I would encourage that. For one thing, I would encourage that. And for another, I would learn from this. Now, this isn't the only channel in geek culture that does really strong overall thumbnails. There is, I think it's High Tops. Trying to find High Tops Films. That's it. So High Tops Films. Yeah, not quite a million subscriber channel, but again, look at this big creator energy here. Look at how cinematic and visually attractive these thumbnails are. So your visuals coming up to this level is just a little bit more effort and time in Photoshop. And that would definitely improve the views here. And you can get on this level. This is not years to get on this level. Literally, if someone just focuses on their Photoshop skills, they can close this gap in a week or two of just pure effort and learning the program a little bit better, and it would take you to another level. I really do think it would take you to another level. And I think you have a good foundation. These thumbnails show me you have a good foundation for the skills. It's application and inspiration. Don't be afraid to try to replicate some of what you are seeing here, but in your own way. That's the key, I think. And most YouTubers themselves, they're not that original. A lot of things you'll see even in people's thumbnails, they're derivative of what they see from film posters. They're derivative of what they see from television, even in their formats. In fact, the OG YouTubers are all derivative of 1980s and 1990s culture and early 2000s culture and what they saw on MTV, VH1, and Nickelodeon. So, again, do not be afraid to bring that big creator energy and these level of visuals to your overall thumbnails. Now, in terms of some content strategy and thoughts, I'm actually okay with you keeping the podcast on the channel, but also I think that you became very well known for being associated with DC properties in particular. And I think that to some degree, maybe there's a little bit of a hit for DC, and maybe you're branching out from that. But I digress. You're but it's what I feel you are known for, but I think it's okay. But I wouldn't put things like unboxings on this channel. This got views and this is search friendly from 3 months ago, but I wouldn't do unboxings and gear review on this channel. You're known for geek culture. It's what you want to be known for. And I think that's what you've built as a solid foundation for an audience. So I would lean into that. Let's see. Now, if you like doing unboxings and tech, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing another channel for that, by the way. And then let's see what you're doing with regard to shorts here. There's some interesting things going on here with the shorts. Something I would recommend for your shorts is movie trivia and facts. That does extremely well on YouTube. Extremely well on YouTube Shorts. So I would actually, for YouTube Shorts, I would do movie facts that people don't know around the movies and things that you like to cover. I think that that would be ideal. I also think the podcast should potentially shift to being a live stream, if I'm being honest. I think if you do the podcast as a live stream, that actually might do very well, and it might be more practical to do the podcast as a live stream. And then technically, if there are good clips from the podcast, you could clip them out, and they could be um, shorter clips here on the channel itself. So I would recommend you look at that as a potential option. So Nate, those are my thoughts on your channel. What do you all think in the chat? Do you agree with me, disagree with me? I think that Nate has potential. I think moving the podcast to live streams, building up a recurring audience that schedules it and makes time for it, I think could be really great for the channel. Great potential with super chats for revenue there. I also think multi-streaming the podcast as a live stream brings in extra viewership. Then I think upgrading the visuals. I think spending the next 4 weeks in Photoshop on a weekend, learning, mimicking things that we see from Heavy Spoilers as inspiration, from High Top Films as inspiration. These are high quality. These are big creator energy. Learning how to do those techniques and then bringing that style to your own content in your own way I think would be killer, and I think it would get more people to be attracted to the content at a glance. So I think that that's incredibly helpful. But do you guys have a different opinion? Do you guys agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the chat if you're watching live. Let me know in the comment section if you're watching the replay. So Nate, hopefully that helped you out and gave you some encouragement in terms of things you do well, things that you could change with your formats. I also think that this short form for you doing movie trivia, movie facts that people don't know about these things, about these shows and movies, people eat that up when it comes to YouTube Shorts. The views on that'll do extremely well for you. So I would highly recommend that. Yep, no problem. No, glad you found it helpful. All right, so we got another super chat from Celebrity ScandaLust. Looks like this is probably going to be a commentary channel, probably a celebrity gossip channel. Good news is we have friend of the show, Great T News, as a really good reference for thumbnails if we need it for this one. So definitely have that to look forward to. So let's dig in here a little bit. So we have Celebrity ScandaLust, tremendous banner, great branding, strong logo. I would recommend though maybe white text for the logo would pop more here and in the channel icon, the profile icon. I would say that doing this exact same thing, but with the text in white, will pop against the red and stand out a lot more here. So very good overall, good branding like this. 15,000 subscribers and almost 800 videos. Well done. Well done. So let's see. Layout wise, you got videos and shorts here. I would do more playlist, and I would put together more playlist for the homepage there. Since you have 800 videos, you should definitely be able to get more playlist out of this. Maybe a bunch of those are shorts though. Let's see. I don't think putting the stop icon in front of these is doing anything for you to make these pop out more. I get what you were trying to accomplish with that, but maybe not so much. Um, these thumbnails, one of the issues they have is they're harder to read and they're harder to distinguish the celebrities because of the fact that you're using this type of art style. It reminds me a little bit of Sunny V2. I get what you're trying to do here, but I think simplifying the thumbnails would probably be stronger if you simplify the thumbnails. Let's see what the most popular ones were. Also, again, I think what you should do for the thumbnails is I don't know why the thumbnails are not in the style of this banner. If I were doing this, my thumbnails would be in the style of this banner right here. So I would be doing that, and I'm not sure why you're not doing that. Um, let's see. And I'm gonna actually try something. I think that the content and your ability to find celebrity scandals and stories is really good, but I think to some degree that the thumbnails undermine the views. But I think this is a strong brand. There's no shortage of a desire for celebrity gossip. Right now, though, I also think that I'd be going for a concept when it comes to my thumbnail design, where I'd probably use a hero and villain framework, where I would put, one person on and let people decide, but I'd have two characters probably in there. I'd probably focus on two characters. Sometimes three is fine. Two or three people in a thumbnail, probably not more in most cases. And then I would kind of let people kind of in the thumbnail decide who the hero and the villain is. So there's an aspect of that. I'm going to possibly try something different with this review. We have a couple more reviews to go lined up, but it's also going to be shorter tonight. But also, we don't have all of our reviews booked up back to back just yet. So I'm going to try something. Bear with me. I'm going to try something. Let me see. This is going to take me a few minutes, but I think there's a teachable moment if I do this. Um, I'm going to see if I can actually make a thumbnail that I think works for this style. Let me see. Pop aesthetics. And I'm actually going to use Midjourney to help me with some of this. And then I'll do the rest in Photoshop. But I'm going to try to do a teachable moment around this. Let's see. Let me see if it can help me for this. Because I think that this branding is so strong that I just don't know why you wouldn't do all the thumbnails in this style. And I have a look and an aesthetic that I would do if I was doing this type of thing. I think I have something here that I can use. Yep, I think I got it. I'm gonna show you guys something here in Photoshop. Just give me a second to get Photoshop set up real quick for y'all, and then we'll make a teachable moment. I promise I'll move on to the other channel reviews. We're not gonna do this for every single one, but for this one, I feel like there's just too good of an opportunity to show you guys instead of just tell you what I mean when I'm saying these things. So it's a show versus tell type of scenario that I'm going for with this. I'm just gonna see what I can do here. If it'll let me do it, if it'll let me do what I want, this bloody thing will work. Um, okay, I think I know what I was doing wrong there and what I need to do to make this work. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to move us to Photoshop. We have literally a blank canvas in Photoshop. I want to show you guys this. So I generated this image of Kim Kardashian using Midjourney. You could try and find like a photo of her, but I just decided, you know what? For this, I'm going to just go in a certain specific um, direction. Um, so that's going to be my base layer. I'm going to go to, I'm gonna see if I can use color balance to get this to where I want it more. More of that. And then let's see. Saturation, colorize to, I want to go for more with that red vibe that you have going on there. And see, this is going to be a little different. And I wouldn't necessarily say use this art style because you could do it with something that has more of a photo look than this pop art look. But I want to show you guys kind of even what's possible for someone who actually knows what they're doing in Photoshop for something like this and what can be done with it to make really strong branded thumbnails. So now we're darkening this up here. And I'm just doing this kind of in a quick and dirty fashion. There's things I would do a little differently if we had more time and I wasn't pressed here. So I like some of what's going on there. Let's see, text. We're going to use Oswald. We're probably just going to use Oswald semi-bold here. Oops. And what we're going to do is you're going to see what I'm up to here in a quick minute, because this is not all of what we're going to do, but it's a foundation for what we're going to do. And again, I think this is a teachable moment for y'all just to see what can be done and what's possible and how far we can take certain things. Let's see here. We want that to line up that way. We actually want this to be in dark red. We're going to do that. We're going to add drop shadows to the text here. And we're going to add more drop shadows to the text here. And so you guys can see what's going on. We're going to add 3 drop shadows there. We're going to brighten up that red a little bit. So this is already getting there in terms of something pretty good. Let's make maybe a 70% brush here. I'm in love with that. So we'll clean that up real quick. Just clean that up all the way there. Get a 50% and maybe pop it over there. Nope, I don't love that. Don't love that. 20%? Nope, don't love that. So I won't use it. I had an idea for something, but it's not doing what I want, so that's fine. We'll scrap it. Let's see. In terms of this, we can blow her up here. Can position that a little bit differently to crop in more. And this is more on brand for what you have. This isn't, I wouldn't even consider this completely done, but I think this is closer to being on brand for you. Let's see here. There's probably a little bit more I could do with this. Again, I'm not going to do this for every single channel. I'm just making a point, and this is just your brand is so strong that I felt like um I'd feel a little remiss not showing you what can be done with something like this with a um very good thumbnail style. Let's see here. There's a few things we could do with some highlights. I mean, just with a white brush. We can go with soft light. No, we go screen with the white here. And then using these lighting effects just adds a little bit more to it and adds some more depth there. So you can see the difference that that makes. Um, and there are areas I might make a little darker there. So that pops a little bit more. And this kind of has the vibe and the aesthetic of your channel a little bit more. Let's see. There's definitely some areas that I think should be darker, much darker. So go more that. About 50 there. Nope. Do it that way. Now we'll go multiply instead of overlay for that, or we can go darken even. Yeah, we'll go with darken. So we'll do that. Then we'll reverse out, pop there. So already looking pretty good with that. We could probably add a little bit more to this. Let me see. I'm gonna try something and we're gonna see if it works. Like I said, teachable moment here, just showing you guys what is possible. Also, I do like showing off some of my Photoshop skills a little bit. Let's see. We can add a couple of more elements here that could make this pop a little bit more. Let me see. Just seeing what I have in my inventory that I can use to add kind of more maybe a grunge effect or some other effect to this that can be strong. So I'm just looking for something to add here. So bear with me. Because there's an effect I'm looking for that I want to add over this that I feel will add a little bit more depth. Some of this might be good actually. What if I add this, but then I'm going to do something with it. So now this might look weird at first, but you'll have to bear with me. This is going to make sense in a minute. This will all make sense in a minute. When I'm done, this will make much more sense than it currently does. And so I'm using a masking effect on this to create the effect that I want here. This adds a little bit more depth and subtlety and a little bit more interplay in the image here. And it just takes it up a notch, in my opinion. So I think if you look at the before and after, this feels much more dynamic and less flat by me adding this additional element here. And that's just a generated texture I had that I generated in Midjourney. I made a custom prompt for that. And then I'm going to add another generated image that I created of Kim here. But I'm going to do something else with that. I'm going to attempt to have it remove the background. Then I'm going to go to image and I'm going to go to image adjustments and I'm going to, where is, oh, wait, I have to select this now that I've masked it. And I'm going to go to image adjustment layers. And I'm going to go to black and white. And I'm going to go, no, I don't want to do density. I'm probably going to go with, nope, I don't want high contrast red. Maybe we'll just slide from the defaults and we'll play with it a little bit. What I probably should have done is just desaturate and then just use levels. And that's what I might do. So we'll add a levels adjustment layer. We'll do a clipping mask to the levels adjustment layer. Let's see, create clipping mask. Then we'll adjust the levels and we'll get it to look how we want here because that's just going to be easier for us to control it in the way that we want here to create kind of this the beginnings of this black and white and red all over thing that I'm about to do with this. So now that I've done that, I'm probably going to take this to a blend mode of not multiply, maybe screen. No, not screen. Definitely not overlay. Hard light is not bad. That's not exactly what I would want. Nope, not exclusion, not deference, not luminosity is closer to what I want, actually. So in theory, that's close, but it's not exactly what I want. Let me see what happens if that's closer. So what I'll do is I did a duplicate layer with that. I'm probably still going to end up adjusting. I'm going to link these layers. I'm probably still going to adjust the, and again, I can always lose this extra Kim if I want, but there's something I'm going for with this. And I think maybe it adds something. I can group these so that if I don't want to keep it, I can ditch it. But I feel like it does something to that empty space to maybe have it. If I'm not feeling it, I can always change that. And I can always adjust something here with pass through. Let me just check and see if there's anything here that looks good. I don't like the added effect that this is having, so I might just ditch this. But sometimes you want to play with stuff. Sometimes you want to see what you can do. Let's even see if positioning this text differently feels better. Maybe lifting it up a little bit. Maybe the added empty space is fine. It might be creating more emphasis and focus. I don't think this is bad. Chat, what do you think? Do you think that this is more on brand for the channel for Celebrity ScandaLust? Do you feel like the thumbnail style I just created, and I know we took extra time on this one, but do you feel like it's more on brand for this with the thumbnail that I created, and that this style fits the channel more? And seeing what I did with this thumbnail, it didn't take me forever, but is this something you would click on when it comes to this type of channel? I wanted to see, you know, if this as a teachable moment would be something powerful and compelling and something that you guys would learn from in terms of, okay, if we just spend 15, 20 minutes massaging this from scratch, what making a good thumbnail could be and what a good thumbnail might look like for something like this. I do like the idea suggested by Larry in the chat, by the way, of protagonist and antagonist. But again, I had to work with this very quickly for the sake of the stream, and especially since we're doing a midnight run. So your boy here is running on Celsius, ginger ale, and Team No Sleep. So this is what I was able to do on short notice. But I do feel that my Photoshop skills here were up to par. And I do feel like it would suit this channel a little bit more and be on brand for it. But again, you all tell me, you know, do you feel like by having this stronger thumbnail style that's on brand, takes advantage of the black, white, red all over, does that sort of thing? Do you feel like this stylized look could be stronger for the thumbnails? I think also having the element of the verses of this just take me too long to do it for you guys, of having kind of an angel and a devil here, a hero and a villain, protagonist and antagonist. I do believe that that framing is perfect for a celebrity gossip channel like this, but I didn't have a lot of time. It's the midnight run here. So, but tell me what you think. Did you learn anything from watching me go through this in Photoshop and my thought process as I explained to you why I was choosing the effects, why I used the color theming that I did, why I built the layers that I did? I still think it was a little simplistic. I still feel like if I had about another 30 minutes to cook this thing, it could have been great. And I probably could have still gotten a variation on top of it, had a second option. If I had 30 to 40 more minutes to cook, I think we could have had 3 thumbnail choices for ABC testing. Sometimes that's exactly what you want to do here. But what do you think? Let me know in the chat if you found this interesting and you found this helpful. Celebrity ScandaLust, I think you have a great brand, a great channel. I just think that the visuals for the thumbnails should be as strong as the overall channel. But let me know what you guys think in the chat if you're live. Let me know what you think in the comment section if you're watching the replay. Boom. Yeah, but I hope you guys learned from that. This is also for doing channels like this. This is why I'm not super against AI art for the channels like this, to be able to generate something and turn something around really quickly. And again, I wanted you guys to see that. I'm not going to sit there and redo a thumbnail for every channel, but I got super into this one. I like this one. I had an advertising and entertainment background doing billboards. This is exactly the kind of key artwork that we would probably do in television broadcast for something drama related. So if we were doing something for like WeTV, for example, or AMC, this is probably what it could be. We did something with Bridezillas back in the day when I worked at the agency. We did something. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Bridezillas. I think it was on Bravo, or was it on WeTV, or was it on both? I think it was WeTV for Bridezillas. But it might have been Bravo. We did something with them and everything like that. You really want to lean into some of those drama elements, and I think it can be incredibly powerful for the visuals. So, just wanted to highlight that. We got some more channels here to cover. We've got the AI government contractor. Thank you. And we've got hot tea, hot chocolate. So we definitely are going to make sure we get to those. We're going to go ahead and queue those up next here. Again, I just thought that that was interesting, again, to show you guys. One, I always do enjoy showing off my Photoshop skills, but two, I wanted to show you more of the thought process behind making these thumbnails. And we did a thumbnail workshop this Wednesday. We still have it up here on the channel. If you go to the YouTube channel, click on the live chat tab, you can see that we did a workshop for week 3 of our 12-week series on Wednesdays. And that one was really strong. We did almost 3 hours and we did some work in Photoshop. So you could definitely learn a lot from that. If thumbnails are your weakness, I highly recommend this. It was a title and thumbnail workshop. So we also went over the concepts around title and thumbnail combinations for you. So make sure you're checking that out. All right. Let's take a look at the AI government contractor. 117 videos, 4,400 subscribers. Very good. Helping small and medium businesses bid on government contracts without the administrative headache. Very good tagline here. Very strong visuals for both the profile pic and for the banner. Very, very nice. I can tell that these are AI generated thumbnails, but they're very strong, especially for a channel this size. You have a school community and you put that right out there. So good for you directly promoting the business. How to understand government solicitations and win contracts. Love the title. It's telling you exactly what you need to know and why it matters. Great. How to write a winning government proposal with ChatGPT. Smart. I love that you framed it as a winning proposal instead of just how to write a proposal, how to write a government proposal. So very smart. Do this and bid on your first government contract. And then you're even posing, does it work? So again, you're very good with positioning authority in your titles and speaking from an authority. That's what you want to do in a how-to niche, and in a niche where you're doing and teaching people how to get clients, how to get customers. Avoid this problem when bidding fixed price government contracts. Okay. Here's what I'll say. The positioning from authority, strong declarative titles in active voice instead of passive voice, your titles are winning. In many cases, I think your thumbnails are unique and strong. But I feel like you're also struggling between, do you want to do realistic thumbnails versus AI thumbnails in some cases? I think mixing and matching can be good for you, because I think there are some people that will gravitate toward the human element here. And I do think associating your face with the channel can be strong. So if you're wondering what the mix of that should be, there's a couple of directions you can go with this. You could actually A/B test all of your thumbnails and make an AI thumbnail versus a realistic thumbnail. But if you make a realistic thumbnail with your face, I would still do poses and do photo shoots for that instead of just using a screen cap from the video. And I would still put effort into them, but I would do a posed photo shoot. If you want to know what that should look like, you can literally just look at my channel when it comes to that, for developing the personal brand side and the human touch, but still doing it in a professional way. Other than that, I'm fine with these AI generated thumbnails. But if you wanted to see what people respond to more, you could A/B test and say every video you're going to do a human thumbnail versus an AI thumbnail and see which one people choose to respond to more. So that's an option. And that's something for you to think about. So that's something I would look at here. In terms of the subject matter, you are a subject matter expert, and it is working for you. Let's see what worked the most and see if there's something we can derive from that. How to do business with the Canadian government, how to bid on government contracts faster with less effort. Okay, lean into things like this. How to do blank with less, how to do blank fast, how to do blank without blank. Those obviously work. And again, I would even consider more series around how to write a winning government proposal, how to write a winning government contract. Sorry, how to write a winning government You have proposal here. There's other things you could write here. Potentially, there might be something even involved, how to write the contract successfully, how to bid on a winning government contract, et cetera, et cetera. So I would position strongly around outcomes, desired outcomes, but also consider beyond their ambition, frame against both ambition and anxiety of what people are worried about and what they're trying to avoid, what they're trying to achieve and what they're trying to avoid. That way, if you do both, you can attract people who have an abundance mindset, but you can also attract people who have that anxiousness and may feel insecure and are looking to be led. So you would do both. So from a psychology standpoint, consider ambition versus anxiety framing. And then you can get people who are positive abundance mindset, but also negativity bias. That filter won't lose them either way if you frame for both ambition and anxiety. So that's something you could consider, and that might help you. I think one of the other things I would do if I were you is if you're not already, I would have a call to action for your school community in every single video. And in a way, it turns every video into a video sales letter. So from a business growth standpoint, that is ideal. So that's my thoughts around this for you. Overall, very good start. And I think this is smart. I think this is a smart approach for someone who's a subject matter expert. But what did you all think? Would you do anything differently? What did you think of my idea of A/B testing AI thumbnails versus human-centric thumbnails and letting the data decide which one is more effective and what people respond to? Let me know in the comment section if you're watching the replay. Let me know in the chat if you're watching live. So there you go. That is the AI government contractor. We're moving right along. We're about halfway through. We've got a couple of more here. We've got hot tea, hot chocolate coming up next. We've got SonGoshuaku, which I believe is an anime channel. And then it looks like we have Tim Tatazian. Wait, Timtationz. Okay, Timtationz. Sorry. Timtationz. So we have those queued up here. So I think that means we only have 3 slots left, I believe. So I think we only have 3 slots left. Um, Now, if you guys also are interested in private one-on-one channel reviews, we do have an option for that over at awesomecreatoracademy.com. So I do offer individual private YouTube channel reviews. If you don't want to do a public channel review, we can do a 30-minute consultation where we look over your channel. If you want, you can share your analytics with me. We can talk about anything you want to. We do this all the time. I've worked with hundreds of creators by this point. So there is a one-on-one session option if you want to go to awesomecreatoracademy.com slash channel hyphen review, and you can see everything that goes along with that there. We do these public channel reviews as teachable moments for people, and that's why we can also do them at a discount. We can also do them at a discount because we have a wonderful sponsor that helps us out with this on the channel, and those are our good friends over at oneof10.com. It's the best YouTube strategy tool for you, especially if you're trying to do outlier videos, titles, thumbnails, see what's working in your niche for other people. There's a lot that you can do with this tool. We've demoed it here on the channel multiple times during our channel reviews. We actually showed it earlier to get some examples of thumbnails in the weight loss niche, showing for downsizing Diva when we we're looking at her channel. So make sure you check out oneof10.com. They're linked in the description. They're our sponsor for the channel reviews, and they've been a great sponsor throughout the months. They actually just renewed. And we definitely look forward to seeing more of your channels in the review sessions because of them. They're linked in the description. They have a 50% discount at checkout if you use code Roberto, and they have a free trial for you if you use code AWESOME at checkout. If you want to try before you buy, see if this even works for you, see if it fits your channel. We don't want you using tools that aren't suited to your needs, but I have used this in the channel reviews. You guys have seen it with your own eyes. So if you want to try it yourself, try it free with code AWESOME at checkout, 50% off if you use code Roberto. Thanks again to our friends at 1 of 10 for sponsoring the channel reviews and helping you guys get those public reviews out there, helping us create more teachable moments. So there we go. Let's see here. We also have a question from or comment from SonGoshuaku. Thank you, Roberto. Because of your content and tweets, I've been locked in for 5 years now into consistent content with my YouTube channel. Instead of focusing on one film, I'll stay on my grind. $1 a day. Cool. Glad to hear it. Glad I'm inspiring people. That's always nice. We also have Matt Miller's PCs coming through. So yeah, we're down to 2 more slots for tonight. We usually do 20, but like we're doing midnight run, so we're trying to power through the stream. We're just trying to power through the stream, and it's been going really well. So we'll keep moving with that. We're gonna bring up Hot Tea Hot Chocolates channel here. Let's see. All right. So we have Hot Tea, Hot Chocolate, 7,000 subscribers, 113 videos. Nice. Another celebrity tea channel. All things Christian and Blueface and everything in between. Okay, so you're attracting a very specific audience around a very specific drama, it seems like. Um, Really good character here, clean aesthetic in the brand. So very well done overall. Featuring your channel members. That's a good way to get people to want to join for the memberships. So let's see. Layout is the videos and then the shorts and then past streams. I would move past streams up, especially since you do them very frequently. It looks like you do them daily even. I would move them up and as a playlist here. For thumbnails for the live streams and for the videos, looks like the overall design isn't bad, but there is a little bit of clutter in some of them. It looks like you've gotten better at that, but for example, this one, a little bit of clutter, and you don't want anything or anyone important ending up in the bottom right hand corner where the timestamp is. But you are killing it in terms of views. You've been able to attract people. So I think you can get even more if the thumbnails can just get slightly cleaner, um, in terms of not being cluttered and just not having anything important get covered up by that YouTube timestamp in the bottom right corner. You're being clean and consistent with your fonts, easy to read, easy to scan. So there is that. Very interesting. I don't think you need to bother putting the subscribe bell in the um in the thumbnail, but I'm not gonna say it's hurting you because you are getting views and you did grow subscribers rapidly with 103 videos, getting you to almost 8,000 subscribers. So I'm not terribly mad at it. I just think that by trying to put it in every thumbnail, you end up fighting for space because of that timestamp in the corner. But again, if it's working for you, I'm not hating it too much. I would say that for some of these thumbnails, if you worked on photoshopping and cleaning up the photos themselves, that could go a long way because some of them are a little flat versus I would bump up the contrast, maybe even sharpen them up a little bit, in some cases brighten them. Um, you are doing a good job on most of the cutouts, so that's good. Again, I would stay on brand with the aesthetics, the pink aesthetics. I think you're doing really well with that. I'm glad that you actually use consistency in your font choices and in your color blocking. So the designer in me is very happy with that. So those would be things I say you're doing well. When it comes to the live stream thumbnails in particular, um, I would say again in this one, you sharpening up and then avoiding this timestamp in the bottom in terms of positioning, I think goes a long way. I would avoid repetitive thumbnails for these. I'd keep them unique because this one's actually really good, this one right here. But I would keep them unique because then people won't feel like they've seen it before and skip over it potentially. Doesn't seem like you're struggling with that, but who knows? The views could improve. Small tweaks go a long way. You'd be surprised. Your consistency is prolific, and between the consistency of the live streams lately, you built and established an audience around this. You have a strong community. The videos with regular upload posting is exactly what you want to be doing for commentary. The fact that you have community members coming back to you is incredible. So very well done there. Again, there are just some things in terms of aesthetic considerations that can be stronger sometimes. Um, and again, I showed you guys an example of that with what I was doing when I was doing Celebrity ScandaLust. So just consider everybody can always get more views by improving the quality of their aesthetics, but here you're winning on topic, title, and timing. So if the thumbnail packaging were even just slightly stronger, you could get even more views, even more growth. If you're not already in the videos and the live streams, one, for the live streams, turn the chat to subscribers only mode so that anyone who comes to the live streams, if they want to participate in the chat, they want to get involved with the mess, they gotta subscribe and grow you. So I think that that would help. Um, and I also think that once you're really delivering on the goods, always ask for the subscribe in your videos, which you probably already are doing. And then of course you can only grow. Let's just check in with your shorts. If you're not already, ask for the subscribe at the end of every single one of your shorts. If you're not already. So, those are my thoughts for hot tea, hot chocolate. I think that they have a strong overall brand. I think that they found a topic with high demand and focus and exclusivity. And I think that you could see the numbers speak for themselves here. I think that leveling up your aesthetics and branding is always the right choice, as you know, given my background as a designer. And so I think I gave some fair constructive criticism there and some helpful advice on how to improve. Would you do anything differently? Do you agree with my advice that I gave in this review? Let me know in the comments section if you're watching the replay, and let me know in the chat if you're watching live. Boom. And there you go. That's probably not healthy for me, but we'll do it. So yeah. So I think that that was a pretty solid channel. I'm really impressed with the growth, honestly. But I think this it shows what you can do when you tap into a community and when there is a desire for a certain topic. The desire for the topic and it being clearly communicated in the title will overrule everything else. And I think you guys just saw that. I think it's so important. And I think the good thing about reviewing hot tea, hot chocolate there was it shows all of you how much topic and timing matter. And it shows you that showing up and hitting a topic that's in demand and being there every day wins. This is an issue of where it shows you right up there are formats and there are topics where quantity over quality matters because showing up every day is where the growth is happening. If a hot tea, hot chocolate keeps posting at this pace, at this frequency, with doing 100 videos so far and almost being to 8,000 subscribers, there's like no way on God's green earth that if this drama goes on for like another 2 years, that she's not at like something like 50,000 or 100,000 subscribers, as long as this drama can be milked for another 2 years. So well done, very smart. Again, I think for thumbnails, I told you guys, scannable text. I think there is enough there because she's only doing 3 lines of text most of the time. As long as you stick to 3 lines of text and no more than 2 to 3 words per line, it's scannable and readable. That was the rule we used in advertising with billboards. You just want scannable, readable at a glance. You want to be able to just boop, 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 boop with your eyes. Just want to boop, 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 boop. So again, 2 to 3 words per line, 3 maximum lines of text. That's the rule we talk about. We teach that in the thumbnail workshop, and that helps considerably. We also, in the chat, we have the mods covering and holding it down with the fonts that we recommend for you guys. These fonts will overwhelmingly clean up your YouTube thumbnails. If you guys are not designers with a background in this stuff to know what fonts are good, we done the work for you. Just use these. If you just use these, they work. Bold versions of Bibis New, Poppins, Oswald, Compacta. Instead of Impact, we use Compacta, Open Sans, and Futura. If you use the bold versions of these, I also used it in the example where I built that example in Photoshop for you guys. I believe I was using Oswald semi-bold for that one. You can see it just works. Just works. So these are the fonts you want to use in your thumbnails. Hot Tea Hot Chocolate says, yep, absolutely agree. And I felt my thumbnails have gotten better over time. And I love the current format, but I do want to elevate my graphics. Yeah. Elevating the graphics and branding, always a win. Always a win and noticed and appreciated by the majority of people. So, yep. And again, you see, we're not mean. We don't roast channels here. I know that some people like doing roasting channels and that they think that that's entertaining. I want to be as helpful as possible. I treat this a little bit more like a classroom and lecture hall. And I never liked when my professors embarrassed me or other people, so I try to not do that. Um, so again, we just try to be constructive in the feedback. You'll get honest, candid, no holds bar advice. I'll tell you what I think, but uh, I'm not going to be rude to people for no reason. I'm not going to roast their channels because I just don't feel that that's a good time for anybody. And I didn't like it when I was a student when that sort of thing was a practice. So I don't really intend to do that in my classroom. All right. So we got SonGoshuaku here. Let's go ahead and bring up the channel. So we got SonGoshuaku, short films, screen and voice acting, Dragon Ball discussions, WWE reviews. Okay, so you got a lot going on. I can understand some of this overlap because I am into all of those things. However, I do think that it can create confusion for the audience and the algorithm. I like the color theming, very Dragon Ball with the orange and blue. So I dig that. Good profile pic. I ditched the welcomes and I would just go and tell people what they are going to get here. Um, so I would just like ditch this first line and just go, I'm a filmmaker with a focus on writing, directing, screening, and voice acting, so people know what you're about. These thumbnails aren't bad. We'll get to some stuff here in a second. Good layout here on the channel. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, spin off a different channel for WWE. These thumbnails are great. They really are. These titles are amazing. You're confusing and fragmenting the audience. I know you're reluctant to do it. Break the WWE content off to its own channel. Private these, re-upload them to a new WWE channel. Watch that channel grow from zero from focusing on that. Swear to you. For the voice acting, I have a different take on this for you. I think there's a way for you to do voice acting on this channel as it relates to anime. However, I think you have to do a completely different approach to it than the way you're currently doing it, for it to relate and get traction with this audience and then get you some potential support. So I'll cover that in a minute. The filmmaking and visual effects project stuff, um, I get where you're going with this. Take inspiration for this stuff though, and just make short skits and possibly YouTube shorts like Caleb City and RDC World 1. Take inspiration from Caleb City and RDC World 1 and do it that way. Um, and primarily as YouTube shorts, which will take you less time to turn around. These are already short anyway, so you might as well do them as YouTube shorts. I know it didn't exist probably at the time that you were doing these, or maybe it did, it was new. But that's how I would do the film stuff. It'll be easier for you to do those things as YouTube shorts. It'll take less time to turn around. They'll get more reach. And I think you should take inspiration from Caleb City and how he's doing things. You're probably familiar with his content. And spin off the WWE stuff. Because that's what's fragmenting the audience and making it harder to get the views you deserve on a lot of these things. Covering the Dragon Ball Daima stuff was timely. Um, but again, the biggest thing holding you back is the audience is confused and doesn't know what to expect. And YouTube itself is having a hard time understanding who to put your content in front of because of the fragmentation and dilution from the channel over the years of you throwing everything you enjoy at the channel. And so that's what's really been holding you back. I think if you literally move your WWE content all to its own channel, that channel will thrive and succeed. I had a friend that went all in on a single thing, which is the Chicago Bears. He's in Chicago. He's a big time Chicago Bears fan. And I want to show you he's a small channel. He's not 900 subscribers yet. He only started this year, 117 videos, has been hitting it daily. You could have this for a WWE channel with your level of thumbnails and titles and how good your stuff is. You could be doing what Bears Yard is doing now. I mean, look at these views. This is a channel with not even 1,000 subscribers. The algorithm rewards focus. So for all of you, if y'all would just focus on one thing, you would see the benefit. One audience, one channel. One audience, one channel. So for this stuff, SonGoshuaku, what I would do is I would figure out what matters more and what matters most to you. And so I think that since you are a filmmaker, voice actor, writer type, I think that you can get the performing and filmmaking part fulfilled with YouTube Shorts by doing skits like Caleb City does. And then I think that in the Dragon Ball discussions, if you do impressions, then those can let you get the voice acting in there from time to time. Your most viewed content is clearly your oldest content here. Trying to see if there's anything recent that has performed better for you to know what the audience values more and most. Honestly, if possible, and this might be a stretch for you, the truth is the thing that would get you the most potential for this channel and for the things you want to do, though I'm not sure if you can pull it off for where you are, just from a commitment standpoint. Dragon Ball Daima Abridged. If you were the person to do Dragon Ball Daima Abridged, and it could start with clips instead of full blown episodes, You probably would win on Dragon Ball Daima Abridged if you were early to it and did that right now, and you could, and that would probably help you the most. For this wrestling stuff, you're clearly passionate about it, and it looks really good, and it looks like you're good at it. I am telling you, private all of that stuff on this channel, spin it off to its own YouTube channel, and watch the views come in. And I think you'll succeed like Bear's Yard for that. I think this channel is a legacy channel that's just been all over the place over the years with you throwing everything you're passionate about at it. I get it. You're a multi-hyphenate type person who has a lot of things they're passionate about. Um, does not do you any favors in YouTube. Works much better on Twitch though, which is an option. Um, but yeah, I think what you could pull off though that would work is Caleb City like skits for shorts. And I think if you could do your own dub of Dragon Ball Daima Abridged, that would do gangbusters and make you a destination channel. And yeah, I'm fairly certain if you spin off a WWE channel, it will be successful. So those are my thoughts. So, do you guys agree or disagree with my stance here on variety channels and that you have to consolidate an audience that cares about more or less the same things and that it creates too much confusion of expectations to do variety content? Most people cannot pull it off. Few big on OG YouTubers pull it off, but usually we see inconsistency in views the more we do it. But those are my takes. Let me know what you think in the comment section if you're watching the replay. Let me know in the chat if you're watching live. Yep. See a bunch of you taking notes. Yeah, laser focus. Laser focus wins. Um, we see it all the time. Yeah, I don't have any I ran out of liquid death, so I don't have any of that with me tonight. Probably just gonna have to actually just get another ginger ale. In fact, actually, while I do that, I'm gonna re-up my drink in terms of ginger ale. But in the meantime, we're actually gonna show you guys the trailer for my book, Create Something Awesome. It's available in Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Target. We even have it linked in the YouTube video here, I believe, as a product that you can buy. But we're gonna show you the trailer for that if you're interested. I believe it's linked in the description, so make sure you're checking that out. I will be right back to finish up these channel reviews. I'm gonna go get something else to drink while I still have a voice. I finally did it. I finished my book, Create Something Awesome, How Content Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy. The book is available now in paperback and in Kindle, where you can read it on any e-reader or device. And I'm really excited about this. The audiobook is coming soon, probably October 2022. Oh my God, it's so great to be able to have this book done, put it up on the bookshelf, and to know that all of you who appreciate it, you want to hear what I have to say about the creator economy, becoming a full-time content creator, and what the experience and lifestyle of being a content creator actually is like. This is the book. I put 20 chapters in here of the most important things I think that content creators could be focusing on today. I talk about the mental health aspect of being a content creator, getting discouraged, imposter syndrome, not charging what you're worth, and mostly actionable advice around monetizing your content properly, but also how to build an audience on your authenticity and what it's really like to start from zero, even today. So if you're interested, make sure you're checking out the book. You can order it on Amazon. You also probably order it in a lot of other places like Barnes & Noble, and it will be coming to other bookstores soon. Really excited about it. Thank you for all the support and love around the book and the positive reviews. Now go ahead and pick it up and make sure you go out there and create something awesome today. Take care. So there we go. Welcome back. So SonGoshuaku says, thanks so much, Roberto. Your feedback was highly insightful. Glad to hear it. My C print says, Roberto, is there any way of keeping the football views on that channel and create another, maybe even changing the channel name and handle? Um, Not really. Um, It's one audience, one channel, and code switching on an audience once their expectations have been set typically doesn't work. I've only see it work very, very rarely for someone who is an addictive personality that the audience really is attached to. But that's really rare for anyone to be that charismatic or attractive to people. But that's the component is the audience has to be very drawn in and bought in on the individual. They have to have the ultimate magnetic personality. And I've only seen it work a handful of times. I've seen it work more for female content creators that have a strong female centric audience in terms of the attachment and parasocial relationship there. But even then, it's very rare. Even there, it's very rare. Kimberlea was able to do it. There's a few other people. She's a really great true crime channel. We've been friends for years. I've known her since 2016, when I got my silver play button. And when I started helping creators and I moved from tech and tutorials mostly, and I started pivoting a little bit myself, the overlap for me is I was doing tech and tutorials for freelancers. Freelancers ultimately evolved like I did into being content creators. So it was a natural progression and evolution there. But for most people, but even then, I still had to deal with some inconsistent views on audience fragmentation. And I think it only worked because I was a daily content creator and I didn't take away yet. I added instead of subtracted when I went daily. And so my pivot was different. But today, in the current environment, I don't think people can pull it off. It'd be very rare. Most people wouldn't qualify for that. So it's better to just have one channel for one type of audience and to not code switch on them. You get bored with something and you want to do something else, don't change the content on the channel. Launch a new channel from zero. I'm telling you. I had to have this conversation with a friend. He's an over 1 million subscribed channel. We've even done a coaching call before, even though he's a friend. He still wanted to pay me for my time. Thank you. Those are real friends. Those are loyal friends. And so he did a channel review with me before he hit 1 million. We had a conversation and there was something else he wanted to do. It was absolutely hurting the channel. I told him to pivot and launch a second channel. He grew the second channel pretty rapidly to 200, almost 240,000. He wanted to make another pivot. He thought it would work. And I've now convinced him to make a third channel because he's very passionate about it and he could not force it onto the audience of this 240,000 sub channel. He thought that taking down all the other videos and doing this new thing, he thought there was more overlap than there was. The code switching was not going to work. I convinced him in a phone call to do a third channel and I told him put everything back up on the 250,000 channel and do keep doing it because that channel could go from 250,000 to 1 million so he can get a second gold play button. And then for this next one is more of a silver play button level channel. This channel he's launching from zero. So since he's a very passionate person, extremely talented, creative, and very successful, I told him, yeah, dude, just launch a third channel and it could do 100,000, possibly a 500,000, maybe 1 million subs if enough of it goes viral. But he's very passionate about this. So I was like, yeah, um, you can have 2 to 3 silver play buttons. Um, Sorry, no, it'd be 3 silver play buttons, possibly 2 gold play buttons. You just have to launch, maybe even 3 gold play buttons, but you're gonna have to launch a third channel for this. You cannot code switch on your audience. You cannot code switch on your audience. For the book, there is an audiobook that me and Amazon did with Amazon Virtual Voice. The current audiobook is not my voice. We're doing a soft update to a revised edition soft update that will have my voice for the audio, assuming I haven't lost it after all these streams. but you can get the audio, and if you have the Kindle, you get the audio, I believe, with the Kindle, or it's like another 99 cents. All right. And I think we only have room for one more channel review. Um, Sorry, by one more I mean in the queue, in the overall queue. We're gonna get the remaining ones. So we have Timtationz coming up. We've got Matt Miller's PCs, and of course we got our good friend Poverty Paradise. We got Linnell in here. So there's one more slot left. So that's what I mean by one more is there's one more slot to do our 10 tonight. It looks like we might actually get this stream under 2.5 hours. So that's always pleasant for me. Um, so yeah, let's see here. Let's go. Just get set up here. All right, so we have Timtationz. I'd love for something in the banner to tell me what this channel is going to be about. Very strong banner here. You could brighten yourself up a little bit here, Tim. You're fading a little bit into the dark here. Just put a little bit of a highlight on yourself here. Um, you are popping out from the red. Could be sharper for the photo here. And again, to fit the theme, maybe you do use some kind of dark blue or some horror background here. Just here for your entertainment. Um, that's too broad. I think you really do need to explain what the value of the channel is and why to come back. And if you do have an upload schedule, I would definitely put it in there. For the homepage, you've only got popular videos and shorts. You've made 300 videos. There's enough for you to put some playlist here, man. So I would do that for the homepage. Again, give people a sense of what your content is about. Biggest thing to improve here is consistency in your upload frequency. It looks like you took a little break here. Also looks like you put a lot of effort into your content. You're doing green screen. I'm a fan as I do a lot of it myself. Um, Looks like you're very big into the survivor and horror genre. Very cool, very reminiscent of PewDiePie, but without the upload frequency. Um, Strong overall channel, and for the gaming side and the stuff works. It looks like you've also improved the quality of the thumbnails overall, and you do have a sense of what works for your audience, and you have some outlier videos here that do get views. My thoughts around here is the problem is the frequency of uploads needs to be much stronger than this, but you look at how long of a break you took, and yet you still were able to reach people. So that should give you confidence that you can revive your channel. And also look at this, inspiration for everybody. Past performance doesn't guarantee anything because the previous 3 videos, all under 1,000 views. First video back after 6 months, over 1K views. It's all about the topic, title, thumbnail, and timing, and what people care about more and what people care about most. Look at this video. Small channel, 10 months ago, 154 K views. So again, a lot of you are too superstitious about a flop video, meaning the next one flops, or a banger, meaning the next one's going to be guaranteed to be a banger. And I think you can see here that that's not the case. Now, what I would say is the big problem I see here is you do not set an expectation for the audience. We do not know what to expect from you. I like that you do these interesting green screen deep dives in a video essay format, and I love that. But some people also like your commentary style videos, and I think your commentary style videos for this could be something you could get out on a more regular basis. If you think that one every week is too much pressure and that you want your content to be higher quality than that, then at least twice a month. If you can do the gaming commentary stuff though, every other week and like maybe twice a month, but then you do one of these big video essay videos that's a little more involved once a month, that still gives you 3 videos a month, and that can be very strong for you, and that would do very well. I think you could also offset some of this with shorts content. And I think if you offset some of it with shorts content, then it could do very well. And I think that maybe some videos about the lore of people's favorite horror and survival games. Um, I think lore, even especially around the Resident Evil franchise in particular, would do very well in shorts, and I think you should. So that's something that I would look at. And again, hopefully you're still here. Hopefully you're still watching, but I think that there's a lot of potential for this channel. I think there's a lot of potential. And I think that if you do some of the things I'm talking about, which could improve the frequency, then you do very well. I think big video essays are a once a month thing, and I think you shouldn't miss those and you should do them once a month. Do them green screen and all. Love that for you. And then I think you should do gameplay commentary videos like this at least twice a month. And then I think that addresses your upload frequency and consistency. I think you should do both. I think that a lot of people think they have to stick to one style of video. I say you can do one genre of content, but you can have more than one style for that genre, and then that gives you options. So I think if you do the green screen once a month because it's more involved, and you do the commentary twice a month, that gives you 3 videos a month. That's almost weekly right there. And then I think you could also probably, in my belief, maybe you could do a once a week live show, and then that could be commentary and reaction in a live format to keep your audience engaged. You could think of it a little bit of like how PewDiePie used to do Fridays with PewDiePie. And so I think that that would give you that right there plus shorts gives you weekly content. Boom. That gives you weekly content right there plus shorts. It gives you all 3 formats, and it actually makes sense. And so that would be my thought of Timtationz. Also for thumbnails, I'd love to see the thumbnails. The thumbnails are actually really, really good, but I love the aesthetic of your banner. So just a thought. But again, you put out some bangers. So again, I just think that some of them could be even better with that kind of aesthetic and detail, but incorporate the elements of what's clearly working for you in your best videos overall, because you have some popular videos. Um, but again, clearly, I think you have something here. I think the biggest issue is the fact that you didn't understand that you could mix styles in one genre. You can mix styles. So you can do gameplay commentary every other week, green screen once a month, and a live show that's a more reaction commentary style and once a week. Bring your community together, and then that gives you a way to be consistent. And it doesn't take away from the quality of your best videos. So that would be my thought. But what did you all think? And did you learn something from that? Was that a teachable moment? The understanding that you can pick a genre slash niche of content for one audience, but you can deliver to them in multiple styles of videos, green screen and commentary, and a live reaction show will all work for this channel as long as it stays within this genre of horror and survival games. It'll work. And the audience will love it. They'll respond to it. I think there's something great here. I think it has a lot of potential. But let me know. Do you agree with me in the comments? If you're watching the replay, if you're in the chat, live stream, let me know what you think. So let's see. Just catching up here on the chat. Uncle Yavison, how's it going? Yep, no problem, Timtationz. Glad you found it helpful. Yeah, I think that a lot of people don't realize that they can mix styles within a single genre and that it can do really well for them. So I think this is going to help you with your consistency issues for sure. Next up is Matt Miller's PCs. I believe this is a returning channel review. Let's check it out. PC building on any budget, Matt Miller PCs. We've actually reviewed this channel before. Almost 12,000 subscribers, 422 videos. Let's see what we can see. Again, love the branding on this channel. Love the colors, love that. Graphic designer in me is very happy with this channel. There's a lot to like here. I love this value proposition right off the bat. I help you know what a good PC is so you do not waste your money. That is a powerful value proposition right off the bat. Love to see it. Great views on turning a Temu gaming PC into a gaming beast. Very smart topic selection. Um, you know, and I love this idea of buying PC parts and components from Temu, and people have a desire to know if that's legit. Fits very well with the concept for your channel. This big gap in uploads, almost a month in uploads, want to know potentially what was going on there, but sometimes life happens. The view consistency is very strong with the channel. The force is strong with this one. So that's great. You're very good at the font consistency and branding overall, sorry. This My wife asked for the weirdest gaming setup. I bet you this was one of the highest quality videos you made, but I also think it was just too different from what your audience expects from you to get traction, but maybe long term it will. The budget guides, and yes, you can build a $300 gaming PC in 2024. This will work with almost any dollar amount that you want it to. You could do a $500, $600, $800, $900, and this will work. Biggest challenge for you would be if you can do a $200 one. So I would definitely look at that as a potential idea. Um, the cheapest graphics cards under $200 would probably be a good video idea conceptually for you. Revisiting whether or not certain components are still good in 2025 is probably going to also be a strong concept for you. The value proposition you have around saving people money has to guide everything, but there are formats you did here that you should not be afraid to repeat. For most content creators, if you check your own analytics, you all will see that 50 to 80% of your viewers are new viewers who've never seen the channel in the last 28 days and are non-subscribers. 50 to 80% of them. A lot of you are so worried about being repetitive in your titles and topics. And it doesn't matter because most people are seeing you for the first time and you're making a first impression on them. So do not be afraid to be repetitive at what works and what got you the most views. I would highly recommend that. So I gave you a couple of ideas for this channel. Again, we really love what you're doing visually and graphically here, but I think that there are just some things that will work better than others, and I think you shouldn't be afraid to make series out of or repeat ideas that worked rather than chasing new ideas, rehashing things people prove they will respond to, and putting a new coat of paint and a new twist on it is good because 50 to 80% of people will not have seen it the first time. So putting out something that's slightly different is more than good enough. And a lot of you are just afraid of being repetitive, but it doesn't matter because 50 to 80% of people have no idea that you're being repetitive. So again, we're more superstitious and paranoid about our content than the data would suggest is reasonable. So always confirm your beliefs with data. Make data-driven decisions. Make good decisions, but good decisions usually have data to support them. At least that's what we believe here. So that's my review of Matt Miller's PCs. Matt, great channel. Thank you for coming back. You have a lot going on here that's very well. I think one of the best things you can do, though, is focus more on topic selection and also rehashing variations of titles that worked and making new videos out of them. And I think that that will do well because you have performers. So let your winner, yeah, what is it they say? Let your winners ride. Let your winners ride, Matt. If something is working, do more of it. Double down, triple down, quadruple down. If something's working, make it a trilogy. If the trilogy works, make another trilogy, but not three. We learn from Disney's mistakes. We stop at 2 trilogies. We stop at 6 movies. So that would be what I'd have to say about that. But do you guys agree or disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section if you're watching the replay. Let me know in the chat if you're watching live. Yeah. Katie Ukulele was talking about Darth Roberto coming out. Yeah, Darth Roberto. What Darth Roberto would say is, your feeble skills are no match for the powers of the YouTube algorithm. And now you will pay the price for your lack of thumbnail design, young creator. That's what Darth Roberto would say. So yeah. But you know, we like to have a little bit of fun here. You know, what is it we would say? You know, YouTube is a pathway to many abilities some would consider to be unnatural. So there we go. Yeah, but we're not going to do too much of that tonight. Voice is not going to hold up for it. And we do have a final channel review if nobody gets the last one in. We have our good friend Linnell, Poverty to Paradise. Let's check in with her channel. This is a returning review. So we have From Poverty to Paradise with Linnell. 63,000 subscribers and growing, 175 videos. You largely also had a very successful viral video, and you've had a couple of hits since, including a really great video from 2 months ago that popped. Well done. Linnell's also joined us over in the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group. Linnell, something I also add is you've done enough content to where you probably can add some more playlists to be featured by themselves here on the channel before they get to the playlist section and the shorts. So you might want to go ahead and add those. And then you're featuring your members up here. Well done. let's get into the videos. So to get 5,000 views in 8 hours, you're killing it. That's great. This oops, I hacked Royal Caribbean again for 5 free cruises. See, people love this kind of thing. They love seeing people get free stuff. They love getting a deal. They love knowing the inside baseball of that sort of thing. And these two videos are popping off for you. 21,000 views 2 days ago. Excellent. Amazing. Also, this thumbnail that you did 2 days ago, this is one of the best thumbnails you've ever done. Impressive. Most impressive. Impressive. Most impressive. So, love that. Let's see. Mexican vignettes. Um, I think that this is good for a vlog, and I know you've enjoyed expanding the vlog style ones. So those ones are fun for you, and it does help you with the consistency, and those could still do well over time. So I wouldn't sweat the views on that when compared to the I hacked one. A year of living on cruise ships paid for by YouTube. You and I worked on that title together a little bit, and we made a few suggestions for you about the potential for thumbnail. I love seeing that what you're doing with your thumbnails is you're doing the poses like we talked about for the thumbnails and using the photography as a basis. So this was very well done for you. I'm glad you got 20,000 views on that 9 days ago. I know this was a video you really, really wanted to make and you wanted to talk about your YouTube journey and you wanted to share it with people and how it helped you with living on these cruise ships. So very well done and congrats to you on that. Overall, you've been doing really well in taking a lot of the advice to heart. I remember we talked about you had a picture for this thumbnail that was too small, and we talked about you doing the pose and the expression in the face. We talked about the positioning for this and capturing the emptiness on the other side as contrast. And this one got 61,000 views for you. So I'm glad we workshopped that thumbnail together in the pro group. And I think that this helped a lot. And I think this was strong for you. So again, very well done. And congrats on that. Just being able to get feedback and advice sometimes on your thumbnails can be a huge difference. It could 10x the difference. And remember, thumbnails don't all have to be perfect. What they have to do is they have to sell an idea. And so the shocking truth about the cost of living on a cruise ship and this one, what I eat living on cruise ships full time. Again, these sell the idea. Also, I'm glad you took some of what we saw from Magic Mitch with his food challenge content to heart with what you did with that video. So that was actually smart to use another person's content as the example. So again, you're improving incrementally with your skills. I'm glad to see the photography angle coming out more and more in the videos, and you're improving with your thumbnails. Your big thing is, and don't worry, in your case, you post so often that you don't have to worry about view inconsistency. I know a lot of creators obsess about that. You and I both know that what works though is it's the views per month that YouTube pays you for. So for you, just posting more and more, a lot of people would say, no, go to quality over quantity here. YouTube pays you for the views you get for the month. Your audience can respond to or could like anything over time with you since they gravitate to your story and your subscribers and your viewers came here largely for your story, but also your stuff gets exposed to a new audience every time you upload. You bring new people to the channel. So for you, the greatest upside is to just continue to post, and you're also getting sharper and better at all your skills every time you upload. Every time you upload, you're getting better at different aspects of your craft. In your case, with your you're getting better at your titles, you're getting much better at your thumbnails and photography, and it's the ability and concepts around planning a video that you've been sharpening yourself up with. I've been paying attention to that in the pro group with you. So but also you're still making some room for expression and making videos that you want to make, inspired by vloggers that you yourself enjoy. So your upload frequency is allowing you that freedom. So that's why for you, as much as other people would say to make the flip, I still think that for you, it's not time to go to quality over quantity yet. And that time may never come because you're also sharing a journey with people. And that might be best done if you just are capturing and cataloging your day as a living time capsule and scrapbook. So again, those are some of my thoughts around your channel, Linnell, from poverty to paradise. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section if you're watching the replay. Let me know what you think in the chat if you're watching live. I think that with Linnell, there is so much that's organic to her story that it's just better for her to post raw and authentic content very regularly and very frequently because almost any idea she has, at least 1 out of 10 of them, 1 out of 15 of them has viral potential. So for her, it's just better to post more frequently. And her lifestyle is so unique, so different, so interesting that it has that potential to pop. And it could always happen later. It doesn't have to happen when she posts because the content's also evergreen in nature. It also is the kind of thing that can bring in indefinite views. And the more she posts, the more money she stands to make. And with the fact that it does also help with her for the making the content because she's able to do more things with the cruise liners that way. I think it's practical. I think it makes a lot of sense. So those would be my thoughts. This will not hold up true for every single channel in every single niche and genre or every style of content, but for Linnell, I think it works extremely well and that she benefits from it. I don't think moving to quality over quantity would work for her situation and in general for vloggers. Being able to just consistently upload tends to be the right move and tends to be the right strategy. So those would be my thoughts. Would love your thoughts and feedback as well. Again, Linnell, you're killing it. You're doing a great job. And I love seeing the ways that you're improving the foundation of your skills when it comes to your packaging and your content. Yeah, so we covered everyone who did a review request tonight. So, I think that's pretty cool that we managed to get through them in about roughly 2 hours, even though this was 10 instead of us doing our usual 15 or 20, which is great for me since this is like midnight run territory. So happy that we were able to manage it and that my voice held up. Linnell made a big improvement as well. 3.47 million views to 4 million views in a month. And also in 1 month, Linnell went from 56K to 63K. So she had a jump in 1 month by about roughly 7,000 subscribers, almost 10,000 subscribers in a month. Linnell is going to have a silver play button probably this time next year, if not sooner. Linnell's probably gonna have a silver play button by this time next year, no later than December of next year, as long as she's consistent. As long as she's consistent, Linnell's gonna get a silver play button. She's gonna hit 100,000 subscribers. 7,000 in a month of growth, highly unusual. If she only was getting 3,000 a month in growth, she'd still get to 100,000 subscribers next year. So as long as Linnell maintains what she's doing, she's gonna get a silver play button within less than 12 months. It probably at this rate could be 6 to 8 months, but not much longer than that, I don't think. But worst case scenario, a year from now. We can do one more. Last call, last call. We can do one more. It's make it take it. First come, first serve for the last channel review from the night. So we got one more. I got one more in me. I got one more in me. Um, so it's make it take it. All right, we have our last channel review. It is Shrimply Canadian. Interesting pun there, because instead of simply Canadian, it's Shrimply Canadian. Yes, this is a DuckTales mug. Unfortunately, um, I think someone put it in the dishwasher when it's hand wash only, so that chipped away at it. I'll try and see if I can get another one though. But yeah, classic DuckTales. You got Scrooge, the nephews Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and Webbygale there. Mrs. Beakley's granddaughter, Webby, along with the nephews. I think technically Scrooge is their great uncle or their grand uncle because he's also Uncle Scrooge to Donald Duck and to I believe it's I want to say that Donald's sister is, why am I spacing? I think Donald's sister is Daniela Duck, I think. It's not Daphne Duck. I think it's Daniela. So like, because Donald has a sister. I have a massive amount of DuckTales lore and the entire DuckTales universe. I know more than I probably should about the DuckTales universe. Yeah. And the tie into Darkwing Duck over in Saint Canard. I can tell you almost everything about DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, and the original Disney cinematic cartoon universe. There was a Disney cinematic cartoon universe back in the 90s, believe it or not. And there was clearly an overlap of that universe with regard to Darkwing Duck, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and DuckTales, with DuckTales being the focal point of origin for the cartoon cinematic universe. So there's a lot going on there. And also a lot of people also forget that there were so many of these shows, including Tailspin, which used the characters from the Jungle Book, but anthropomorphized them to live in a universe similar to Duckburg. It was called Cape Suzette at the time, and you had Baloo the Bear, a cast of some new characters, but you also had Shere Khan as one of the antagonists, playing like a rich billionaire mogul, and you had King Louie in there as a club owner, and there was just a lot of interesting stuff in that one. So that was Tailspin. You had Tailspin. It was the Disney afternoon. You had Goof Troop, Tailspin, Rescue Rangers, Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, and that was most of your Disney afternoon block. There was also a spin-off show with a teenage angsty 90s version of the nephews kind of grown up that was called Quack Pack, that had Donald and Daisy, and they were dating, and she was a news anchor, and Huey, Dewey, and Louie were rambunctious like teenagers, and there was a lot of one-offs in that. And Donald was retired basically. The 90s were an interesting time in the Disney universe. So yeah. But anyway, we're gonna get the Shrimply Canadian. We've kind of done a little enough of Roberto's 90s kid lore here. Man, if I ever was gonna do an entertainment channel, it would probably be that. Which sucks though, because like Disney's done so much irreparable harm to their brand that but I do guess there is a nostalgia for when Disney didn't destroy their brand, so maybe that would be the thing that'd be worth covering. But that's probably the thing that I'd be super interested in. Maybe it wouldn't have to just be Disney. Maybe in general, the shows of the 90s and the lore around the 90s. I've coached enough clients around this sort of thing actually successfully. One of my earliest clients was the Alpha J Show, which is very successful in covering cartoon lore. And then in terms of Disney lore, Isaac Carlson, almost a million subscriber channel. Um, So it's not as if I don't know how to make this work if I were to ever do it. I'm just so busy. Like maybe this is something in the future that's another one of those back burner projects, but I digress. Let's get to Shrimply Canadian and check out his channel instead of exploring the lore of theoretical channels Roberto could do. So we have Shrimply Canadian. I love this branding so much. This is so well designed. The logo is beautiful and well done. I love the black and white and red. It pops. It's easy to read. I love the pun here. So we got 22,000 subscribers, 580 videos. Well done. Hi, I'm Andy, and I've been in aquarium hobby since 2021 as an aquarium assistant. Sorry, an aquarist, shrimp keeper, and an aquascaper. I primarily create education content on. Okay, so I would skip all of this and I would go to I primarily create education content on shrimp keeping and their tank mates. And that would just intro this better and it's cleaner. You can skip all of this and this gets the value that they want. So that'll help you a lot here, Andy. Let's look at the layout here. Skittle Squad. So I think this is the members only content. I would move the videos to potentially above that. Actually, I would move new to shrimp keeping start here. I'd move this playlist to the top, if I'm being honest. I'd move that playlist to the top here because that's the value proposition for the majority of people for the channel. So move that playlist to the top. Then probably the aquascaping should be the second playlist. And then the popular videos, the third. And then I'm fine with the shorts being basically where they are. Very good job, by the way, with the choice of frames for the shorts. A lot of people are not intentional about that. So this is incredibly well done. Strong thumbnails with that show that this is going to be a cinematic channel. I love this. I think you probably have taken inspiration or you're familiar at least with Canadian Ants, the Canadian Ants channel, which I throw on as like my background thing that I'll watch and listen to. I'm very enamored with that. So the Canadian Ants channel, you remind me a lot of what they're doing. So again, I love this. This is great. The cinematic quality of it and the thumbnails themselves capture that cinematic quality. This feels as good as anything you might watch on the Learning Channel, the Discovery Channel, or National Geographic. I'm assuming that you're using a macro lens for most of these. I assume that you're using a macro lens. I could be wrong, but if not, I would highly recommend you use a macro lens. There's also a tube lens that might be good for you to use as well. It's a little bit more expensive. Yeah, Ants Canada, that's it. Ants Canada, that's the inspiration. Yep. So again, this is very smart. And Ants can and by the way, this is a good example, by the way. You could take inspiration for something like Ants Canada, and then he picks a completely different species and a completely different type of creature to cover, but makes it make sense. This is extremely well done, high quality, still decent consistency, I believe. Yeah, very good on the consistency side. And then supplementing with shorts and even making sure that you use cinematic frames for the shorts is very impressive and it shows a strong brand identity and it shows intentional thought. And that you're making sure that visual aesthetic is something that you are known for. And I can definitely appreciate that. You're also very smart about how your approach to capturing color is, and that you're barely bumping from what I can tell the saturation. You decide to not go with the flat look. You're doing contrast and you're using smart tonal range. but you're not really exaggerating the colors, but you are making them pop to the extent that they should. I only noticed that because I'm a camera guy, though. So even the shorts are cinematic. I think cinematic shorts are something that is incredible. I think that with you saying that it takes a long time and the videos pop off and it takes them a year, it's that's evergreen content. This isn't a bad thing. And the extension of the shelf life of your content is your content could be getting you views and subscribers and revenue for years and years and years. Um, Doing super extended live streams like this and streaming and premiering them as aquarium therapy is brilliant. If you can keep the cadence to this to be once a month or twice a month, that would be ideal. If you can stream this 1 to 2 times a month, you really have something there. Thumbnails for the lives here are also very well done, and I think it's also smart that you are not being repetitive when it comes to this, and we are it is very much what you see is what you get, even in the preview to watch these as replays. So that's incredibly smart in terms of building a watch time trap and a session trap here. If you're not already, I would for you link your shorts to other shorts for the related videos to create binge loop sessions instead of trying to push them to long form if they're watching the short form. I wouldn't worry about it. I definitely think you should take up what I said about those live streams though and do them with a higher rate of consistency if you can. Yeah, this is incredible. This is extremely well done. It was smart to take the inspiration from Ants Canada and then flip it into a different niche, but doing something very similar there. This is an excellent case study for how you take inspiration properly and how you steal like an artist. I could easily see people binge watching the shorts, by the way, and I can easily see people putting the live streams on in the background as replays. I think um, doing supercuts of these shorts is very smart, and you can just get some more views out of the short form. So I think doing that was an easy way to repurpose the content and just monetize those a little better than you would with the shorts, even if they didn't get as many views. What would be interesting is seeing how a longer format video once in a while, maybe it's once a month even, a much longer format video could do for you, similar to like what you have going on here with the shrimp breeding guide. This is much longer than most of your other videos, and it looks like it's performing really well right out the gate here. And I do think this that the guides, if you can do guides once a month, I think that you'll do very well. And I think the ad revenue for these is probably going to be very decent. I think this is a good channel to end with because it's like, in my mind, there are so many things that, from my perspective, and you've been doing this since 2021, so congrats on that. No, wait, you've been doing the hobby since 2021. What's your oldest video? Wow, you've only been doing this a year. This is perfect. Like, in my mind, I'll be honest with you guys. In my mind, Shrimply Canada is the perfect YouTube channel. In my mind. In my mind, it's the perfect YouTube channel. Why do I say that? Look at the potential for these videos and what they can do in a year's time. And every single video is an evergreen video. So on a long enough timeline, all of these videos can perform like this. Many of the videos are gonna, especially the longer ones, could bring in tremendous ad revenue. It's education, it's evergreen, it's cinematic high quality content, it's unique content. There's very little overall competition at the top of quality for this niche. This is probably one of the five best quality channels in terms of cinematics and visuals in its entire niche. The turnaround for production is still good enough to where this can get a video out weekly if it needs to. It can on the long form. It can get discovery through shorts. It has watch time traps through live streaming for 10 hours plus that can also be revenue farms where these videos, if optimized for revenue right, even if they only get 500, 1,000 views, you're talking potentially 30, $50 RPMs if optimized correctly. And then long term, these videos all will do well. In my mind, this is the perfect YouTube channel. It's ideal. And when I say the perfect YouTube channel, I'm talking I think there's a money printing opportunity. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that I'm interested in because of how evergreen it is. It's evergreen, it's faceless. The the production is locked in at this point. It's something where the videos can definitely hit a weekly schedule with planning. It lends itself to long form, short form, and live streams. So all formats are available. And it lends itself to varying monetization opportunities. So it has the qualities of a perfect YouTube channel from my perspective, for what I look for, Yeah. So extremely well done. Great way to end the reviews for the evening. Shrimply Canada, keep doing what you're doing. I gave you some adjustments and some feedback on some tweaks that I think will definitely help you and be worthwhile in the long term. I love what you're doing, and I really dig this type of content. So, aces, my friend, aces. Well done. Impressive. Most impressive. So, yeah. So that wraps things up for the evening. I hope you all learned something from the series of reviews this week and last week. We also did a workshop on Wednesday. I believe we have another workshop Wednesday scheduled right before I travel out to San Diego for Social Media Marketing World. So you definitely don't want to miss that next week. You know, even though this was super late night and now my voice is dead, I really enjoyed doing this batch of reviews. I think that this was something a little different. I'm glad we were able to get an under 2.5 hours. We're not doing another 6 hour marathon anytime soon, if I can help it. And I feel like we learned a lot in particular about the importance of branding throughout tonight's session and the role that that plays. I think you all also got to see a lot of different channels that have different strengths and different weaknesses and areas of improvement, different opportunities. And I think that seeing that and seeing the lesson in that is very important. I like that we redid the thumbnails for celebrity. What was the name of that? It was Celebrity Scandalous, right? Celebrity Scandalous. Um, I because I feel like the branding exercise there and just how strong the visuals for that can be and what the potential was. I think there was a good lesson in that for a lot of you. And I also, I like showing off my Photoshop skills. So this was the one we did for that channel because this is the branding of that channel. So then I was like, well, what if I were to make a thumbnail potentially very quickly in the style of that channel? And this was what I came up with. And um I think there was a good lesson in that of, okay, that's what would make sense for the branding versus what we have here. And just to show you guys even what can be done very simply in Photoshop. So I think there was value in that. I think that there was a lot that you guys got to learn about the execution and thought that goes behind quality thumbnails and what the value of a strong thumbnail artist and designer brings to the table. So those were things that I thought were really important to cover. I'm glad we got to do it. I also think that for this reason, it's important for you guys to go back and watch the Photoshop and the title and thumbnail workshop, especially the Photoshop portions of that workshop from this past Wednesday. The replay is still available. If you go to YouTube and you go to the live tab on my channel, you can see the workshop series we have scheduled. So it's 12 weeks of workshops. So we scheduled them in advance so that you can just go ahead and say, hey, I want to be notified when this goes live. And also we have all of those replays up. So we've got a ton of content planned over the next couple of weeks. So make sure you're checking that out. We've got links for resources for everything we talked about tonight in the description for you. Again, thank you to everybody who super chatted for your reviews. Really appreciate all of you. Yeah, no problem, Shrimply Canada. Appreciate you. Yep, I think that's going to be it for tonight's live stream. Make sure you guys are checking out the resources. All of them are linked in the description. Make sure you're checking out the free Creator Foundations course. This is a free course that we do for channels under 20,000 subscribers usually. It costs $0, but if you want, it's a pay what you want, pay what you can course, which means it can be $0, so it's absolutely free for you aside from your email. Or if you want to donate $5 or $10, happy to have it. It always helps with everything we're doing with the content and the channel. Other than that, make sure you check that out. We have over 900 students in that. We've gotten wonderful feedback on that course. We have the Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group, which you're going to learn more about at the end of the stream. And so we hope to see some of you there. We've brought up a couple of channels that have worked with us in the past and used them as teachable examples. So you guys have benefited, I think, from that. And other than that, I will see all of you next week. We do have some edited videos that I'm working on over the weekend before I travel out. Hopefully we get those posted while I'm gone. And I think the way that my travel is working out, in theory, I'll be able to do a Friday channel review session in theory before I leave. And as best as I can tell, most of the conference is going to be over the weekend and like a Monday, possibly Tuesday-ish. So I think that we're pretty covered in terms of the live streams, but we'll see what we have to do or if I have to work out the schedule since I'll be on the West Coast. But other than that, I'll keep you all posted. Stay tuned for more. Stay awesome, and I will catch all of you next week. Take care. Becoming a content creator can be a very lonely process and adventure, but it doesn't have to be. When I first got started going from 0 to 100,000 subscribers, I had to do it all by myself. I didn't have a community of like-minded and like-hearted creators to talk to or to ask for advice, and I certainly didn't have a mentor to guide me along the way. I built the Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group because when I was getting started, what would have meant the world to me is not to have to struggle alone when it comes to being a full-time content creator. If I had had a community of creators that I could talk to and share information with, I would have avoided a lot of mistakes in my early career, and there would have been opportunities with brand deals where I would have gotten a better understanding of how to negotiate, and I wouldn't have undersold myself. I wouldn't have been taken advantage of in those early situations. So in the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group, myself and our co-instructor Andy Rivera, we meet twice a week for office hours with our creators, and we share information, we talk about how we're building our creator businesses, and we offer constructive criticism and critique on the things that we're working on for our projects. You'll be part of a community of usually around 100 like-minded creators who are taking this seriously just like you are. You'll also have all access as a pro group member to all of our past, present, and future courses, training, templates, digital downloads, and swipe files. You have full access to our creator blueprints where you'll see our systems and the frameworks that we use to execute. You know, you always fall or rise to the standard of your systems. A lot of people really underestimate how important that is. We have digital download templates that can help you so you don't have to start with a blank canvas. These done for you files are actually incredibly helpful, especially for things like your thumbnails, your media kits, and anything you need for your branding as a content creator to look professional. We have email swipe files that help you with reaching out to brands. We have great information in helping you price yourself and build your packages appropriately. And remember, as part of the pro group, you have the opportunity to ask questions from myself and all the other creators participating. And so this means that if you need to ask questions about negotiation or a brand deal, there's something you're not sure about, you're trying to find a better monetization opportunity with merch or affiliates, you have people who have done it before, who are already making money, that you can reach out to for advice. As I said, when I was starting out and I was flying solo, this is the thing that I wish I'd had the opportunity to be a part of, and it would have made all the difference in the world in helping me be an even more successful content creator. If you have questions, you can always reach out via support. We're happy to help you figure out if the pro group is right for you. Also, we do have the opportunity for you to become a VIP member if you also would like quarterly one-on-one coaching with me directly. Now go out there and create something awesome today, and hopefully we'll see you in the pro group. Take care.